Welcome to Miss Alice's Guide to Movement in Scratch. The first thing I'd like you to have a look at is the X and Y on the bottom right hand side of your stage. The numbers next to the X and the Y represent a set of coordinates for a particular sprite on your stage. Our Scratch stage works on an axis, and this is why we have coordinates. Notice how I'm moving my mouse around the screen and the coordinates are changing. If I wanted to position my sprite in the centre of the stage, now the centre is x0, y0, I can watch the x and y coordinates at the bottom right hand side of the screen until I get them right. There we go. If I was to move the sprite down, you will see that the y coordinates will become negative. And if I was to move my sprite up, you will see that the y coordinate will turn positive. The numbers will go up naturally. If I was to move my sprite to the left, you will see that my x numbers will become negative. And if I was to move the sprite to the right, you will see that the x numbers will become positive. So right now you should understand that to move the sprite left and right, it is the x coordinate numbers that change. And if I was to move my sprite up and down, it is the y coordinate numbers that will change. We can drag and drop our sprite wherever we want it to go on the stage, but the best thing to do is to actually program our sprite to a particular position. So if I want my Millennium Falcon sprite to be in the middle of the x-axis, so between left and right, right in the middle, and somewhere at the bottom of the screen, let's say minus 118 for y. I put those numbers into the Go To block in my scripts area. So I will change this to x0, y minus 118, and I can drag it into my code, which is what I've done here. There is a limit to where we can actually position our sprites on the Scratch stage. The highest position on the y-axis is the coordinate 180, and the lowest position on the y-axis is the coordinate minus 180. For the x-axis, the highest coordinate is 240, and the lowest coordinate is minus 240. If I wanted my Millennium Falcon to start off screen, I would need to change its y coordinate to be less than minus 180. It doesn't tell us exactly where we are off stage, so we have to guess. My guess is that this is around minus 230. So let's change this number in our code. Originally, the position was minus 118, and we are changing it to 230. Notice there's a minus there. Okay, so this is where our sprite is going to begin its journey. We can barely see it. If I wanted my sprite to move onto the screen, I'm going to use the glide block, and I'm going to position it right under the Go To command. I'm going to tell it to glide for 4 seconds. We're going to stay on the same x coordinate in the middle of the screen, and we're going to change the y coordinate back to where we wanted it originally, which is minus 118. Let's try that and see if it works.